Et ecce equus pallidus, et qui sedebat super eum nomen illi mors, et infernus seguabator eum. Et data est illi potesta superquator partes terrae, interficere gladio, fame, et morte, et bestis terrae.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sword and Key. Welcome to Eldritch Automata.
You
I'm
can
going to
call it
say it
whatever you
both
want.
ways. I'm going to do it. Hi, everybody. I'm Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I am your GM for this game. I'm your host for this game. Welcome once again for part two, for the finale of our game feature of this wonderful game. If you didn't catch part one, you can do that on our VODs. You can also do that on YouTube. If you didn't catch the interview that I did with Nick last week in the same time slot about this very game, you can also find that on our VODs and our YouTube. I highly suggest you do. It was a fantastic time. We chatted a lot about the wonderful intricacies and thoughts and concepts and everything that built this incredible game. I am joined by these lovely folks once again. I'm going to have them go around, say a little bit about themselves, introduce themselves, their characters, and also their mechs, because all of those things are important. Before all of that, I do want to say that while this game is not impacted by any charity donations, we are at all times raising money for a variety of charities. The charity currently we are raising money for is the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. You can find that link, the Tiltify link, in chat. You can also find it on our socials. So again, there are no impacts to this game for your donations, but it's a great cause, and we highly recommend that you donate to that first and foremost, as opposed to subscriptions or bits or anything like that you would otherwise do for the channel. Thank you again for joining us. Let's go ahead and go around. Rack, if you don't mind starting us out, who are you playing? What are they piloting? And what's your biggest fear? Why not?
Hello, everyone. My name is Rakolai, or Rakolai. I don't really have a preference on how you say it. I'm just glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in today. Today, I will be playing the role of Garrick Yevgeny, the Empty, and we will be piloting Volk 4, the Junker. As for, we're talking my biggest fear or Garrick's biggest fear?
I think Garrick, so as you are going into combat here, we'll do a little recap. But as Garrick is looking to go into combat for the first time since we started playing, what is he most worried about, if anything, considering Garrick is kind of empty by point of fact?
I think in Garrick's case, his biggest worry will be that he'll come out of this fight not feeling anything.
Deep, unsettling. Thank you, Rack. Kit. Hi, I thought I was going to have something to relieve me out of that of stress, but I see you're next. So, hi, Kit. How are you? Who are you playing?
Hey, Derek. How's it going?
That's great.
Hey, I'm Kit. You can find me most places on the internet at Kit Roll. Today, I will be Simone, who is just kind of here to have a good time and uncover the secrets of these terrible horrors. And oh joy, we're about to see a bunch of them. So I'm going to have a great day. I will be piloting Mur, the Ancient, who is probably going to cause more problems than solve, but we'll see. how that works. And let's see. What else is there to say? My archetype is the other, which should not be concerning at all. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
What would you say that the biggest fear for your pilot is going into this fight?
I think going into this fight specifically, we weren't really expecting massive combat going onto this mission. And now there is probably massive combat, and our mechs are here. I think Simone's biggest fear right now is that something happens to their mech, and all of that knowledge gets lost before they get to figure out what is even in there.
Okay.
Lost knowledge is a big fear.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about the apocalypse. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, our very special player, who's also the game creator, Nick. Welcome again. Who are you playing? What are you piloting? What's their fear going into all this?
Hey everyone, I'm Nick. I'm going to be playing Cassidy Cruz again today, reprising him. And his mech is the Collateral, and known as Husk. And I think Cassidy's biggest fear right now is that other people are going to get hurt because he's not good enough.
Damn. All right. Existential was the word I couldn't find before. I found it thanks to you, Nick. Okay. That's absolutely not least. Anna, not exactly a pilot for this, but a very cool character nonetheless. Who are you playing today? What is their job, I should ask?
Yeah, so I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet. Pronouns are she, her. And I am playing the weapons optimization module for battlefield assistance and targeting. But the pilots know her better as Wombat. And I'm just the AI. I'm here to help the mechs work together as a team, help them with their targeting and battlefield assessment, and just try and keep them alive. And fear is not programmed into my programming, so I don't have any fears. I mean, if my pilots die, I'll get another team.
Perfect answer. Completely cold and detached. I love it. Okay. So, as we have set the scene for what you were looking down on, you all have basically transferred yourselves. You have moved from one part of, I believe, Kentucky all the way through West Virginia to where you are now. You have gotten to your rendezvous point with this convoy moving out of DC. DC has evacuated. There's supposedly no one left, or if they're left, they're not worth transporting, because this is the last convoy out of DC. It apparently has some very important cargo, whether that be personnel or otherwise, you're not sure. They're transporting them by means of a casket or a coffin, which is a large metallic, hermetically sealed vehicle that is hard to break in, hard to break out. That's kind of the point. So whatever is in there is meant to stay in there. You have gone through this massive cave system that connects the eastern part of the United States that's been, dug out a little bit more to make this underground transport system for all of you. Encountered some horrors while you were underground, defeated them pretty sufficiently, and now have made it topside to where it is mid-spring. The snow has fallen on this part of West Virginia as you find yourself in a national forest, and looking down from the top of a rise, you can see the convoy moving across the landscape, and it is being beset upon, it's being chased by a gargantuan-sized horror, I want to make sure I get the name right. This is a corrosion revenant. So from your point of view, this is a several stories tall creature made of necrotic flesh, just ambling itself with, somewhat humanoid in shape, with this massive gash going down the center of it, where every now and then it will seem to inhale greatly and then expel outwards this absolute just wave, this tsunami of bile and corrosive fluid. There are also a number of flesh rippers, which are more like human-sized, bigger than humans, but they are attacking the infantry personnel who are trying to move along with this convoy. So that is what you all have seen. You called in your mechs, and it's now time for some big boy combat. So let's go ahead and roll for initiative. And let's see if we can get some combat music going here. All right. Just shout out when you got something.
Eight.
6.
Okay. Anna, you said 8?
No, I had 3.
3. Okay. Who said 8? I'm sorry.
Oh, that was me.
Nick. Okay. 8. Okay. Rack, what'd you get? You muted, bud.
Got a 5.
5. Okay. So it will be Cassidy, then Garrick, and then Simone, and then Wombat. All right. So, Nick, you being first up, you are still some ways away from this combat, but you can kind of see how they are going to be like almost running perpendicular to you. You also see that there is another mech down that has tried to tackle the giant horror and is struggling to get back up. Basically tackled it to the ground. Something in the tree line happened, and the mech is struggling to get back to its feet, but does not seem to be down. Still seem to be mobile, but the Titan continues moving after the coffin, basically just struggling, and the smaller horrors, the flesh rippers, continue. We're almost like climbing all over the coffin at this point, despite just gunfire that you can see from here, trying to take them out one by one. So, what would you like to do?
I think it's very thematic that Cassie's going first because he's definitely the one to just rush first ahead before waiting for Wombat to provide some assistance. So I think like as he's launched in, he's got the straps in, the connector at the back of his neck. He just pushes forward on the controls, and Huss just takes off running towards the biggest horror in the room. Doesn't sound like I can get to it this turn.
Yes, so you could basically use your turn to get to it, and if there's anything that you wanted to prep while you're moving towards it.
I guess I use the fast action to get there, and then use a slow action to use another fast action to move again, to just get myself there and in range. And Husk brandishes, not able to use it this turn, but has this giant kind of you think it's a cannon, but it actually looks like a stake. That just kind of starts from the mid of the arm and then extends out. And you can see it starts superheating as like smoke and steam begins to radiate off it as it begins to glow bright red.
Okay. All right. Anything else for your turn?
No, that'll be it.
Perfect. Okay. Garrick, it is your turn. You may do something similar where you use fast action to get there, slow action for something else, unless you have any ranged weapons that you would like to close the distance with.
I have a ranged weapon, but it is... Excuse me. The range is close.
Okay. So yes,
I don't know how...
you would only be able to use that after the using like a fast action to actually close that distance.
Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do, is there a way that I can like kind of go in like a diagonal route to kind of like...
For sure, yeah. So trying to cut them off.
Yeah, so like in a way that like moving in a way that will in the opposite direction that the downed mech is in.
So are you trying to cut off the convoy, like get ahead of them, or trying to get behind them?
Get behind, like kind of intercept on myself on intercept in the convoy and the big monster.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure because it was cutting out just a little bit there. You're trying to get closer to the mech has fallen behind the convoy. It's basically the convoy is moving. If you're thinking about how your mech is looking out on this wide open valley, you have the mech which is moving towards the right. I'm screwing myself up. You have the convoy which is moving off to the right, being chased by the Bile Titan. And then you have the mech, which has been kind of left in the dust towards the left. So would you like to go behind the convoy where it's moving to try to help the mech, or would you like to try to cut off the convoy's movement towards the right?
Okay, so since convoy's going right, mech's kind of more on the left, can I kind of go on a route that would put like me in the convoy's trail?
Sure, yeah. You could go behind the convoy for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to do that. Maybe like, I don't know, trample a corpse ripper or two on my way.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see
that. And I'd like to
go ahead.
Yeah. So as I'm going, I'd like to shoulder up the antique slag shotgun that my mech is armed with, and maybe let off a shot to draw its attention.
Okay, just a shot in the air, or you're trying to hit it to get its attention?
I'm firing at it. Now, whether I hit or not is up to the dice.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so my ranged combat is those. Do I still have a stress from last time?
I think you all got rid of your stress, because you all had just a little bit of downtime there. So if you use that downtime to get rid of your stress, I don't think you have it.
Okay. Then I am left with 2 successes.
Okay. So what would you like to do with your extra success? Would you like to increase the damage?
Let me check the ranged combat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tab.
So you can inflict additional point of damage to health. You can pin down your enemy. You can position yourself to get to exchange your initiative score with your enemy, taking effect next turn. The target drops a weapon or another handheld object, or your opponent falls to the ground or is pushed back, for example, through a doorway.
I'd like to have it fall to the ground.
Sure. Okay. So go ahead. What is the damage for your attack?
It is heavy damage, so 3.
Heavy damage 3. Okay.
Heavy would be 5.
Heavy's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big damage.
All right. In that case, Nick, I'm going to double check with you. Does that go towards the ego field, or does that break through the ego field and hit the health?
So the ego field will absorb the whatever amount. If it goes beyond, whatever is left goes directly to the health.
Got it. Okay. All right then. So, solid attack, Garrick. And you would watch as you can now see this creature, this horror, much closer, and you can see that it is composed of thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of human bodies that have all just been seared together, not stitched, but just there's red lines all running through this thing like veins, which you can tell the flesh has been almost melded together, and you don't see any faces on this thing, and you realize that all of the bile that has been congealing inside this thing, it gives it almost a gelatinous sort of movement as it's running. There's almost a liquidity to the body, not there's a form, a firm structure within. There's not a bone structure within this thing. And as your slag shotgun just hits it and pelts this thing from behind, you would watch as it just like the impact is almost like in a wave pool. Just seems to kind of ripple throughout, and you watch as this thing just tumbles forwards, and just all of this acid starts leaking out all over the ground as it just splats downwards onto the gaping mouth wound that it had. It is down for this turn. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I don't think I have any actions left, so just as like a flavor thing, I'm just gonna like kind of roll my neck in the cockpit.
Okay. All right. I will also say, because you're close enough, you can see the mech that was helping the convoy is on its back. It's mostly just swatting off like flesh rippers that are trying to like get into the inner parts of it and get to the joints. It's like swatting off like rats off of its metallic form. But it's this really sleek black and gold model that I'm not sure you would have necessarily seen before. Okay. Next up is Simone.
Ew, that's me. Quick question before we get too involved in what Simone is up to. I think, like, as soon as they hop into this mech, there's probably some sort of information transfer. I don't know if conversation is necessarily the word for it. But there is a required move that I have, being the other. So hey GM, what does my angel want from me today?
Your angels are such a fun word, Kit. I love that.
I had to give them a name. They didn't give me a name.
I know that's very, yes, I absolutely. So you're kind of getting this vibe of almost like disappointment or anxiety from the tone. Again, it's not a humanoid tone, but it's the way your brain is translating out this almost Enochian sort of language that's coming through to you. And let me see if I can find a good word for you. I will say that while Wombat may be on your screen, as we did describe last time, your AI did pop up on your screen. You know that sometimes your screen just glitches out for just a second, and you get you get just like weird kind of messages that pop across every now and then. And this time it's a frowny face, and then you get Greek. You're getting Greek.
Right.
Greek this time. I will give
Greek.
you. Yeah, I figure you can do Greek.
I can do Greek.
So I will message you what the Greek is, because it is in Greek. For those who also might have been in Greek institutions in college, this is pi alpha lambda iota delta alpha. So this is Pagida. And it's kind of just flashing in red for a second on your screen before it glitches out in Wombat's blue furry-esque uwu face pops back on.
I seem to have lost you there for a moment. Are your systems showing errors on your end?
Yeah, we're all good, Wombat. Would you mind? I don't know, something about this doesn't feel right. This feels like a trap. But otherwise, I think they will, I don't want to say ignore, but we have more pressing things at hand. Namely, if we can get that other mech up on its feet, we might be in a better position. So I think Simone's actual move here is going to be to try to snipe some of those critters off of this thing from a bit of a distance. I don't think they've moved marginally towards this convoy.
Yeah, if you want to snipe critters off,
I would love to snipe a critter.
Snipe a critter.
I would. Thank you. I will. Okay. It has been a minute. Remind me, what is my roll to snipe? What is my to snipe modifier?
You're just snipe modifier, of course. Yes.
Is this
agility
2d6
plus range combat?
Alrighty. Okay. All right. We can make that happen. I'm gonna need more dice than this. Hold on.
You used to this. You were swamping wombats back in your T16 back on Tatooine.
Don't worry about it. I got this. It's fine.
Whoa, we don't like swatting wombats here. We like our wombat.
No, we have to cherish our wombat.
Yeah.
She does good work.
Womp rats are different though.
Womp rats are.
That was the first version. That
yeah,
AI
womp rats are like that's the virus module where they're like,
Is,
oh yeah. It's like you tell your grandpa like, yeah, update your wombat. He's like, womp rats, all right. Where did my money go?
It was a distinction. Day one of initiation was like, okay, there's wombat, there's womp rat. It's different. Do not confuse the two.
It's the Wheatley to the GLaDOS.
Truly. Let's see. So that's, if I'm doing this right, that is 3 6s.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. And you were aiming at the flesh rippers that are on the casket.
Yeah. If I could just get as many of those as I can grab.
Yeah, I will say that with 3 successes, you could hit 3 of them.
Excellent.
What is your damage?
My damage for this one is 5. This is my big boy.
Okay.
I think the goal is to try to like line up as many of them as possible, wait for a good shot, and just blast through as many as possible.
Okay. I'm going to rule this a little differently because this is more of like a swarm sort of deal.
Sure.
And because these are smaller and you were in your mech, these are basically getting hit with, a ballistic shell of a sniper rifle, not just like a sniper bullet. You watch as these things just fling off every single time. You're essentially firing a Navy ballistic shell at these things. They just disintegrate. We're going old school health points, which is like how many times can you get hit with a 13 centimeter shell? All life has 1 hit point. The end. So yes, you have picked several of these off.
Okay, so I am unfortunately going to need a number. I've just dropped my d6 because every time I kill something, I roll empathy and potentially get some of those hit points back.
That's
me.
Okay. That is
so
3. So
3?
I'm going to say that if we are, if your damage was 3, you will get 9 hit points.
Hell yeah. Okay, I will take that.
Yeah.
And I think I can give those to anybody else too, as like an action later. Is anybody hurting so far?
I think your mechs are doing okay.
Yeah, our mechs are good.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's your new friend mech that might be in question, but
I'll wait to determine if he's actually a friend. I'll let him
enough.
up and see what he does, but I'll hang on to those for a second.
I see we've played before, Kit.
Listen, I speak Greek is the thing. So I know what this angel has told me, and I don't like it. But I think that's all I'm allowed to do legally.
Legally? Wonderful. Wombat, what would you like to do?
Yeah, so as everyone kind of rushes into combat, Wombat goes into combat mode. So I think the lights kind of dim and go red in everyone's mechs. Wombat kind of fades out for a second and comes back and is in like a military uniform with a little beret sitting kind of sideways on her head and is standing there on the screen like she always does. I think pops up specifically on Garrick's stream. Seems like your combat routine practice has been paying off quite well. Your moves are looking much improved. And I'm going to raise your ego by 1 as my fast action. Let me see if I can help. Statistically, currently, I think the bile core is our main target. And I will... I remember my moves. I will expose the enemy.
Very much has like all of your bases and belong to us vibes right now, and I'm heavily into it. That or the Tim Curry just going spice. Also, the military uniform has that. Anyway, please.
Yep. Yeah, so the reticles again kind of move around and lock in on a few places. I rolled 3 successes. So yes, equal to the number of successes. So either to their armor damage reduction or their ego field will be reduced by 3.
Okay. Yeah. So with that, cool. Cool. Okay. Great turn, Wombat. Is there anything else you would like to do?
Little notifications pop up on everyone's screen that it is the scheduled time for stretches.
Thank you.
We kind of jumped into our mechs before that happened. But yeah, little reminders pop up, and there's in the corner there's military uniform Wombat, and then in the corner there's little animations of her doing the different stretches, kind of leading everyone. I don't know if anybody is actually doing the stretches in their mech during this period, but they're supposed to be. It is protocol.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much for that. That is important. Make sure that you all hydrate, do your stretches, listen to Wombat. Next up, we have the Corrosion Revenant, who is going to struggle to get to its feet, and I guess its feet, a lot of other people's feet that have all made its feet. This bloated mass, like again, it's like watching Jello get to a standing point. It's tough, it's liquid, it's gross. Having like gotten the shot from behind, this thing is going to turn with these countless eyes all blinking asynchronously across its form, and turn this this wound that it expels its damage from towards Garrick. Garrick, this thing is going to let's see. It is going to do its acid spew. Although which I think it's going to try to do its Wicked Maw. I think that's what we're going to shoot for here. So it is going to basically move towards you and attempt to grapple you. And this mouth is going to try to like basically encapsulate you. And yeah, it's going to try to eat you. So let's do some dice here. All right. So Garrick, that is 2 successes against you. So let me find my monsters here. There we go. This damage is medium damage. So Nick, remind me, is that 3?
That's 3.
Okay. So I'm going to do increase my damage on that, so I'll do 6 damage to you, and you can consider yourself currently grappled, and so you can expend a slow action, or I'm sorry, targets that are currently grappled, the enemy can spend a slow action to engulf.
I'm so sorry. I got my just picked up. So light damage is 3, medium is 5, and heavy is
5.
7.
Okay, so 10 damage then. Could I actually use could I use a dice to a success to use the talent? Is that how that works?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Okay.
Are you talking about the Corrosion Revenant?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Garrick. We'll do 5 damage, and then I'm gonna have this thing try to swallow you. So it is going to engulf around you, basically you moving into this liquidy flesh sack that again does not have a firm bone structure to it. So all of you would watch as this thing begins to stretch around Garrick's mech. And then on its next turn, you will suffer ongoing damage equal to the threat level of this creature. And you can attempt to escape by making a successful opposed close combat roll. Yeah. So
I would suggest not allowing it to swallow you.
We'll listen to the AI on this one. So with that, it is now the Casket's turn. The Casket is going to continue firing from its turrets, trying to fend off the Flesh Rippers that are coming after it. The Flesh Rippers are going to continue to tear at that thing. So I will do their roll separately. But let's go ahead back to top of the order with Cassidy. So Cassidy, you have watched the Corrosion Revenant swallow Garrick with a mech fending off Flesh Rippers behind it. You have moved forward enough that you are within range of this whole thing. What would you like to do?
I think as Cassidy sees Garrett get swallowed up, you start to hear, because Cassidy's not like the best, probably not the most stable person that should be piloting Automata. You can hear him just kind of whispering, going like, die, 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 as the stake on it starts to superheat up. And I'm assuming if he's getting grappled, he's like pretty stationary. The corrosion revenant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just point blank's going to punch this thing with it, and as it connects, I'm using my thermal stake driver. It's going to explode the area. It also does friendly fire because all my attacks do friendly fire.
Okay.
I've never been so excited to be a ranged fighter in this one.
What is the damage on that, Cassidy?
So let me go ahead and do this roll. That is 7 dice. Oh man, that's only 1 success, so I'm gonna push. Oh no, I'm gonna push it. So I'm gonna incur a stress, which is actually good because if I get damage, I'm just gonna lose the stress anyway. And that is an extra 6. Awesome. So I'm gonna do the normal damage, which is heavy, so just be 7 points of damage. And then I'm going to use the extra success to activate one of my talents.
Okay.
And that talent is going to be Scorched Earth. One of my favorite talents in this entire game. So once per combat, upon successfully hitting an enemy, I can spend the stunt to declare this talent. Your automata rains down hell as a part of its attack. I imagine more like narratively, it's because of the explosion that goes off from the kind of state driver going in. The entire zone is now scorched, which means the zone is covered in fire and ash. Anyone standing in the zone at the end of their turn immediately takes a point of damage. Exiting this requires a successful piloting roll. I'm immune to this, though.
Okay. So how much damage overall was this?
So it was just 7, and then if they end their turn in the zone, they'll take another damage.
Okay.
I lose a point of ego.
I will tell you this. This thing had 6 hit points left. It did not have any ego field left thanks to Wombat. So you have killed this this corrosion revenant with Carrick inside. How would you like to finish this thing off? And I guess like give me full details on this scorched earth around this thing that Garrick is kind of left in.
So like as it impacts, I imagine there's just like I said, the huge explosion that kind of goes out. Maybe it's like crackling because it's almost like it's like this thermal energy. So there's like that anime moment for a second where the whole like landscape cracks and like rocks fly up, and it's just set ablaze. So any like grass or anything scorched. If I do kill this thing, there's a huge hole left in him, and I think for the like as a slow action, Cassidy is going to physically pull Garrick out of there, the remains of the creature, automata and all, this big bulky husk, and I'm probably, if the other automata's on the ground, they would have took the damage as well. Unfortunately, Garrick was lucky. Garrick was inside the monster, so it didn't hit him. But for everyone else, maybe not so much.
Fair enough. Okay. I am going to say at this point, Simone, if there's anything else that you wanted to do, you absolutely may, but I will say through your scope, you start seeing that like when this Titan, this horrific corrosion revenant made of all these bodies and everything just kind of explodes outwards. I mean, it is the fire, like the scorched earth is almost doused in this corrosive fluid, but like the napalm aspect of it keeps it burning. So it's both acid and flame being burned twice. That you watch as Garrick is pulled free of this thing, and there's just like this patch of this forest, this national forest, formerly national forest, that is now just completely made unlivable. But you watch as this thing just disintegrates, and all of the flesh rippers kind of turn back, and you note that their attacks on the casket like cease, and they begin to start to move backwards, and actually they begin to scatter. So if you would still like to pick some off, you absolutely may.
Okay. Interesting. Bold choice. So they're trying to scatter like away from the convoy, away from the casket. Is there anywhere that it looks like they're going? Anywhere that they look like they're going specifically away from?
It's almost like they are being absorbed into the shadows around them. Like they go into the trees and you don't see them come back out. That they're basically fleeing to wherever they can.
Okay.
Some of them you see are like digging beneath the ground. Some of them are just running off into the distance. But yeah, some of them actually do go into certain copse of trees, and you just don't see them come back out.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know what to do about this. The mech that was being attacked by them that I picked several off of. Does it look like that guy's like getting up?
Yeah, even on the flesh rippers on the mech are starting to like scurry off, and the mech is like pushing itself to its feet. It is in an area of like flame and acid and everything, so there's also like trying to pull itself as opposed to just stand up in this thing. It's more of a scurrying movement from this mech.
Okay, but it's still, ambulatory and all of that.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Well, as far as Simone is concerned, I have limited ammo on this situation that I'm working with, and my other gun is, if I recall correctly, busted. So I don't want to pick fights that I can't finish, I think.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep a scope on, what's going on. If something starts attacking the casket or attacking this mech or my team again, then that changes things. But if these guys are walking away, then I think Simone's on comms like, all right, like they're heading out. This is our chance to get out. Do you need extraction? Or are you good?
Congratulations, everyone. And I think Wombat has changed to a party hat. There's like confetti falling behind her on the screen now that the combat is over.
Who said we're leaving?
We have an objective. Get these guys back.
Should move quickly before the horrors return.
I think Cassidy is going to like start up the stake driver again and approach the flesh rippers that are trying to scatter.
Oh,
Yeah.
This job isn't done yet.
This isn't our job, Cassidy.
Cassidy, you're going beyond mission parameters. Please return to the convoy.
They're all going to die. Every single one of them.
Including you, if you don't do your job. You think you can take on all of those? Be my guest.
And yeah, I think so how big are the flesh? Are they like small enough that I could be like stepping on them, or
You could be stepping on them, sure. I mean, they're bigger than a person.
yeah,
Right? Like,
okay.
I really find the identifier chariot to be really like that in my brain tells me that they are about as big as like a chariot would be with a couple of horses. Like they're bigger than a human, but definitely smaller than a mech, because I always see them as like just this like bounding limbs of flesh, all just moving towards somebody, and just like a lawnmower, just
like a small
constantly moving.
4-door.
Yeah, just one of like a woody wagon, like your family's going on a vacation to hell.
Yeah, I think Cassidy's husk will turn to Garrick's automata, even though they can't really see each other because they're not like looking at the but
Right, just like visor to visor.
Yeah, just like wondering if what Garrick's gonna do, if Garrick's gonna retreat or come with him.
Has Garrick ever seen horrors like retreat like this?
I'm gonna say this is a first for all of you. Horror is typically just there's not a lot of like presence of life. Like there's not a lot of like you can't torture a horror. You can't threaten it with pain. You've seen these things run through like fire and what do I say, like barbed wire. You've seen these things go through things that would just absolutely decimate them just so they can move an extra foot towards whatever they're trying to kill.
I think Garrick is going to kind of wave off the hollow display of Wombat so that he can get a clearer view of Cassidy.
Yeah, you can't minimize. You can only move that window. Yeah.
Mhm. If they are falling back like this, that means a counterattack is coming soon. It would be best that we stick together.
I think you hear Cassidy slam the console. And not caring about how many more trees he's scorched, he's going to make sure to kind of get away from everyone else, is going to impact the driver one more time, trying to kill as many on the way out, but he probably won't pursue more than that.
Cassidy, your heart rate seems to be rising. Would you like to take a moment to meditate?
This is my meditation.
Simone, I'm gonna give you one more thing here, and I think Wombat might even pick this up with proximity. Simone, your point of view, it's not, it's not like bird's eye view, but you get a much broader view scope of the battlefield below. You see something moving above. And instantly, like, something in your brain just goes into panic mode because the things that come from above are
So
not
much
horrors.
worse.
They're seraphs. But when you look up, this is not a seraph. This is perhaps something new. And I'm going to take my GM discretion to introduce a new monster here, a new horror. This is something that pops up in your database, not from Wombat's database, but from your database. And for the first time, and perhaps a long time, just very clearly, it's not an English word, but it's a word that is spelled in English, and it says Ahul. And you look up to see this bat-like creature with these long, interconnected membranes of flesh, creating these huge wings on this thing, this abomination that has just countless teeth and claws, almost insect-like, moving down its carapace-like body. And it flaps its wings a few times. You don't know where it came from. You didn't see it take off. It seems to just have descended almost from the atmosphere itself. And you see it kind of scan across the landscape, and then it's almost like its eyes lock with yours. And for just a moment, and then this thing just lets out this screech. Like, you almost can't pick it up. It's almost above in your mech, the level of where you could pick up an auditory frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And then this thing just goes and flies off towards the east.
Great.
And Cassidy, just like
Wonderful.
lost in his rage, doesn't see a thing. I think Garrick, trying to get the bile from melting his joints together, doesn't notice. Wombat might pick up a proximity alert, but I think by the time that you're able to alert any of the people besides Simone, this thing is already moving towards the distance. And the whole-
Yikes. First of all, I think, this is so stupid and it's probably gonna backfire. But I think if Simone hasn't checked,
I don't know if I'm having connection issues or if...
Oh no, I just asked that. I was like, is
Okay.
it just me or?
yeah, I wasn't
Okay.
sure if that was me or y'all.
Okay.
I apologize.
It's all good. I
Um,
think we're all experiencing it today, and we're all in different parts of the country. Who the fuck knows?
The horrors.
Okay, please, Kit, please.
Honestly, the horror, it's the horrors.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think seeing this, if there's even a second to react, Simone's gonna fire a warning shot in front of Cassidy, to cut him off.
Sure. Okay. And yes, so Cassidy watches this, ballistic shell lands right at your feet, just as you're trying to, like, smash these things, like insects beneath you. They're almost like there's just shadows at this point. And I leave it to you whether that warning shot snaps you out of it or not. But a shot is fired in front of you.
That slow pan as Husk looks back, and it almost like does the cut in where it's Cassidy looking back.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if it comes from Simone or if it has to come through Wombat or what it is. I think there's just like a highlight on your HUD that is like in either the direction that this thing was, if it's still visible, or at the very least, like just some indication of like, we're a thing here, a bigger problem, we need to go.
Just the long drawn out. And just the slow walk back through the smoke and fire. I think if he can, he'll pick up the fallen automata that would like they came upon and just like start dragging it out of the scorch zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this thing is trying to struggle out. You notice that one of the knee joints on it has been kind of like melded together a little bit, so it's having trouble getting to its feet. But you do actually get an intercom that connects through, because you're not necessarily all on the same database, but radio frequencies are radio frequencies. And he goes, "Hey man, easy with this. This thing's new, man. You just can you help me up?" Fucking brother in arms bullshit.
Is it like is it still like fully like connected, or is it like parts of it?
It's almost like it's been through, whether by acid or heat, like the joint has been like melted to being one solid piece. It used to be two pieces that connected that moved, and now it's one piece that just doesn't move.
Garrick, help me with this.
Salt, fat, acid, heat. It's terrible for robots.
Yeah, I think Garrick is going to make his way over, and I guess if you're like dragging it by like the back of its shoulder or something,
yeah,
I think Garrick would come to the other shoulder to like kind of take some of the weight off.
Okay. All right. As you help your fellow mech to its feet, I think that's where we're going to take our break, just so we can check on some internet stuff and introduce this NPC when we get back. So, in the meantime, take care of yourselves, do the things, donate to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund if you're willing and able, both those factors being very important together. And we'll be back shortly, probably about 10 to 15. Do the things. And welcome back, everybody. We were talking about dinosaurs.
We can keep talking about dinosaurs.
We can keep talking about dinosaurs. Who cares what happens to your characters?
They are real.
Fine. Yeah.
Put dinosaurs in the game,
real.
coward.
They are real.
Listen, it takes a strong stance, and I want to speak for all of Sword and Key here that we stand in that, trans rights are human rights, Black Lives Matter, and dinosaurs are real, among a variety of other causes. Those are things that we stand by. Hate that I have
Nick,
to
when
say
is the dinosaur patch coming?
I want this on a t-shirt.
It's funny. The dinosaur patch is already in there if you look hard enough.
Dinosaurs are real. Somebody stop me from opening Canva right now. You can't stop me, actually.
None of us will. Okay. I think only your internet will stop you. So,
that's true.
Yeah. Let's jump back into stuff. Welcome back to part 2 of the game feature of Eldritch Automata. And our crew here has just finished off a gargantuan, their first mech fight, essentially. They have just fought off a corrosion revenant and now have helped another mech to its foot, more or less. The casket has continued moving, the caravan has continued moving, the gunfire has ceased, and there is this strange kind of like quiet now. You can pick up through like the auditory sensors of where you are in this forest. Like you can pick up the crackling sounds of the napalm still burning against the trees here. This like the crunching of snow through the treads or under your mech's feet. Still like the singeing corpses of both like infantrymen as well as what is left of the Titan. And and you all are a little spaced out now, but as the caravan continues moving west, what would you all like to do?
Wombat is playing through some calming nature sounds, or at
Mhm.
least nature sounds that are tagged as calming. It's actually just kind of moose calls overlaid on top of each other.
Perfect.
She thinks it's calming because it's tagged as calming, but
Just nightmarish moose bugling. Great.
mhm.
All right. So as you all listen to moose bugles, again, you can't mute it. You can only turn it down. What's next with your mission?
I think Garrick would take point on escorting the casket. Kind of keep an eye out on any potential dangers, at least from the ground level.
Okay. Absolutely, Garrick, as you go to catch up with the casket, which is moving slower. I mean, it has treads. It's trying to maneuver through the forest as opposed to like around trees. It is like toppling trees. I mean, it is a large metallic shaped craft that is more tank than anything else. It does have a couple of turrets on top, as mentioned, and almost submarine like. There are infantrymen who have kind of come out of the pilot's area and are kind of like standing on the top and giving waves to you. Perhaps most notable to you is that you would notice these are all dressed in like proper US military fatigues. Like, you have not seen fatigues this well put together since before everything went down, since before the architect was seen. Like, these guys have, I mean, if they were going to get checked down by a drill sergeant today, they would meet requirements. So you're not sure where they got this stuff from, but I mean, probably DC, where they had access to it more than anything else. All right. What about everybody else?
I think Simone is sort of keeping a little bit of distance because it has proven, it has done them well so far. It seems to have a little bit of a wider view of the situation, or at least for somebody on this team to do so. And they're arguably set up for that. So sort of hanging back, keeping to high ground if they can, but keeping an eye on this caravan situation, and also keeping an eye on the skies, but not making a point to like hide their movement through like the HUD. So like if the team needs to know where they are making that very apparent. But more so trying to like physically keep a distance and keep a little bit hidden from the sky, perhaps, so that they have somebody sneaking around that isn't a sitting duck with everybody else.
I'm trying to remember all my skills here, but it feels like this should be a roll to see. Let's see here. There's survival.
Observation, maybe?
Observation. Yeah, I guess observation kind of goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would
There
like to roll
is
Please.
one of my gear might be helpful.
Yeah. What do you got?
I have navigation augmentation
I like
on my
that.
sort of
Yeah.
HUD situation. It says that gives bonuses for tracking, navigation, that sort of thing. I don't know if that's relevant enough for you, but
I would count
float
that
it.
for sure, because yeah, if you can also find like the good spots to hide and the best spots to obfuscate, especially from above. Yeah, I would absolutely count that.
I think actively hiding myself and then keeping an eye out, like if we need to hide the caravan from something, keeping eyes out for places like that as we go.
Sure.
Because I do not trust the situation whatsoever.
Fair enough.
So you said like a wits observation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I should have got more D6s out. That is... 2 successes. Yes.
Very nice. Okay. So yes, I would absolutely say that you are hidden pretty well, and if stuff goes down, unless there's anything else that you particularly want from your extra success, I will say that you would have advantage on your initiative roll to kind of like be able to get into a sniping position quickly as you are better hidden. But if there is something that you would like instead, go for it.
Yeah, if there's nothing like immediately threat wise to see, I think that's kind of the goal. But having it up on if a threat shows up, I'll take that.
Absolutely. Yeah, as you are looking around, keeping an eye on the sky, it is a cloudy day. You can kind of like maybe weather reports from Wombat are coming in. It's going to snow again here within the next day or two. Like I said, it's weirdly quiet. It's noisier where Garrick is, right? Because you have the stomping of a mech, you have the treads, you have maybe chatter from the infantrymen. But where you are, winter in a forest in the Monongahela is quiet anyway. All the birds, if there were any birds left, have gone south. Anything here, though, it fled when the horrors were coming through, and that's something you're very familiar with. It's like that's when it's time to be worried, like especially near the mouth of the cave where you all kind of stationed. If nature gets quiet, that's when it's time to start like mounting a defense, because that's the first sign that something's on its way, because nature's getting the fuck out of there. But yes, you don't notice anything, any enemies. I will note there's nothing really out of the ordinary with this.
Okay. Yeah, I think they make the team, as aware of that as they can be. Like, I'm not seeing anything specific, but stay on your toes, because those things don't just leave for fun.
Absolutely. Cassidy, what about you?
I think Cassidy's kind of like, he's like sulking a little bit, because everyone was like, "Oh, come back," and he didn't. He's still pretty heated up about everything. But I think he's falling in line. He's carrying the automata alongside Garrick, and just kind of like got his arms crossed and just like kind of doing his thing. Maybe smoking a cigarette in the automata. Who knows?
Yeah, so the ventilation systems have maybe kicked in then.
Listening to moose calls.
Yes, absolutely. I will say that your ventilation systems did shut off when you got closer to combat, because I didn't want to have to describe what a corrosive bile titan smells like. So yeah. Wombat, what's the AI up to?
Running diagnostics on everybody's mech after that battle, gathering weather reports, radar readings, searching for, I have gear-wise, I have multi-band radio scanners, so looking for encrypted and unencrypted radio signals that may not be from us. I'm just keeping an eye on everything, hoping to be kind of the early warning system if something does seek to engage us.
Okay. Well, think about what that role might be if you're picking stuff up. That might also be observation. That could maybe be. Not sure that's necessarily command.
Observation works for me.
Yeah, I think let's go with observation for picking up on signals.
My radio scanner gives me a +2 to that, so I'll be rolling 10 dice total.
Perfect.
We love to see the big dice pools.
Those are so good. Yeah.
So many successes. Do you want the actual number?
Yeah, just for fun. What'd you get out of 10?
6. Brag on us.
60% success rate. That's fairly good. Okay. So with 6 successes, you pick up on a number of signals. Like it's almost like your broadband extends outwards. Maybe it's in this middle area. The Monongahela has a massive satellite dish in it anyway. Maybe you're connecting through that and picking up all of these signals that are kind of being broadcast outwards. DC is just like it's It's like what do I call it? Like a, it's just lit up. It's lit up with beacons. Um, it's almost like an operator kind of like booth in front of you, where you just see all of these signals that are coming out from it. As AI, 99% of those, maybe even 100, are traps. They are duds. They have been set there by hoarders. They have been set there by seraphs to lure people in. You would know that DC is just overrun. Like, that city might as well not exist anymore, because it is a suicide mission to even go close to that city. And the fact that this caravan somehow made it out of there is astonishing, maybe even to AI. But you note that there's like SOSs coming from everywhere. There's ships out in the harbor that are sending out SOSs as well. But to an AI, these are very clearly like bots. Like, the language isn't right. The message is generic. It's repetitive. It's not just an SOS, or maybe it is just an SOS, or maybe it's something else that's just meant to lure people in, just to add bodies to the pile. You do get a couple of signals coming back from home base. You actually do get a signal reaching out to your squad. If you did want to respond to that, it is just a check-in status report that would be sent directly to you, as opposed to any of the pilots. And then you're getting signals from the casket, and you can't necessarily decipher them, because I'm going to say that they're not really radio signals. Like, the bandwidth is weird, the frequency is weird, but it's something that you're able to pick up, that there is a signal coming out of the casket, which you also know is weird, because that's kind of the point of a casket. It shouldn't be able to, like, it's lead lined. It shouldn't be able to send a signal out. But you are picking up on something.
That is concerning. Back to base, I send back like a 60-page, just blow by blow detailed report of what has happened
Full
so
diagnostics.
far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full thing.
There's an entire page just on the moisture levels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a note when Cassidy scratched his nose. It's the whole whole thing. But yeah, I think she tries to drill into that signal a little bit more. Even if I can't figure it out right away, spends a lot of processing power on trying to figure that out. And I think comes on to everybody else's screen, at least for our squad, just kind of the private channel.
What am I looking at here?
I'm picking up a signal from the casket, which is strange because it is insulated so as to not send signals. I am in the process of deciphering it, but I am uncertain at what exactly it is currently saying.
Hey, has anybody actually talked to these guys?
I was too busy killing horrors.
Right. Because these things aren't supposed to send signals, and the way those horrors were acting, I don't trust this, guys.
Sending signals out is antithetical to the construction of a casket.
I'm gonna take a look down at the casket. Do they still have like the hatches open so that people can like sit on it?
Yeah, so there's two parts to the casket. There's basically the pilot area, which can be entered and exited, and then there's the cargo area, which takes a code both internally and externally to open. The pilot area does have like the top hatch open. You know that there's a couple of infantrymen who are just kind of sitting, kind of maybe just cooling off in the winter time. And then, yeah, the hatch does appear to still be open. There's somebody still piloting it forward. The cargo area is still sealed.
Wombat, where is the signal coming from? What part of the casket?
Can I tell? And as I check that, can I also run like biometric scans, just very basic scans, just to make sure these are real people?
There's one glob of a person in there. What does this mean?
Yeah, so Give me for the scan. Give me another observation roll. But yeah, we'll call that for the signal too, to see if you can tell exactly where it's coming from.
Do I get my radio scanner bonus on this?
I'll give you a radio scanner. I would say that, infantry personnel should have radios on them. That might be a way to tell, as well as like if you're picking up on individual radio frequencies from each of these guys.
That is 3 6s. And
Wonderful.
a surprising amount of 2s. Yeah, 3 6s.
With that, so you do know that the cargo area of the casket is lined with lead. However, you are able to, your scans are able to penetrate just enough through to pick up on, there is organic life within. You can it's almost through like heartbeat is what I'm going to say, that you can pick up like vibrations. And you do pick up on multiple heartbeats. You just can't necessarily tell how many. The soldiers, however, are all individual. They all have individual biometrics. They seem to be human, not horror. Garrick was able to look down, kind of see a soldier waving at him, and it's the same. There is a single pilot that is currently piloting. It seems like the co-pilot seat is empty. There's like 4 seats in total in the pilot area, and it seems like 3 soldiers that would occupy it, and then 2 in the turret gunner seats.
Everything seems to be normal. They seem to be humans. I'm picking up multiple heartbeats inside of the casket, but I cannot tell how many.
How much trouble above board would we be in if we opened this before we got it back to base? I don't know that we would even have the capabilities for that, but...
As long as you're getting the cargo back, you weren't told to not open it. That wasn't part of your mission details. You were told to get whatever cargo is important, the mission critical cargo, back safely and in one piece.
What's that old story about the big wooden gift and they brought into the city and had soldiers inside and it was like the enemy?
That's the
Toy
Iliad.
Story. That's it.
Yeah, it's like a...
Yeah, a Troy story. Yeah.
Yeah, Troy Story.
Yeah.
What was that called again? It was some sort of animal. Was it a moose?
It was a horse.
Yeah. A Troy horse.
The Troy horse. I don't know. It feels like a moose. I feel like it was too big to be a horse. It's been a long time since I've seen a moose, though.
Also, Anna, to the point of your other question, with your successes, the signal is not coming from the cockpit where the pilot is. The signal is coming from the cargo hold and is muffled.
Signal seems to be coming from the cargo hold, which does not make sense. I can alert them that their casket is leaking.
Well, hold on there, Wombat. What if they know that this is a faulty casket? What if
they know, then why would they be using it?
Maybe they aren't who they say they are. Something about this reeks of a trap. I'm stuck on those horrors. They don't just walk away if they don't get what they want. Which leads me to believe that this is what they want.
Their behavior was peculiar. It would make sense if they were just there to draw us in. That combat did end quite quickly, with minimal casualties.
Then why don't we just crack it open?
That would be against protocol, but if we had reason to believe that this was a trap, we could check the contents ahead of time.
If we had reason to believe that the casket was faulty, it would stand to reason that to ensure the safety of its contents, that we check on it. Yes?
Your logic seems sound.
Thank you, Wombat.
I've heard it enough to feel confident. Cassie's gonna step in front of the casket, like the foot coming down to block it from going forward.
I'm going to consider the conversation that you just had on like private frequency, maybe through Wombat. But
yeah.
as the mech foot of Cassidy's mech steps in front of the casket, the other mech that you had been helping along, almost like limping, as like one leg is locked into place, through just general radio frequencies. Just, hey, what the fuck do you think you're doing, man?
I apologize, but our mission parameters have changed. Your casket seems to be leaking, and we need to check the security of it.
Casket security is fine. We need to get it back to base before we open anything.
Our scans say otherwise.
Then your scans is wrong. I lost a lot of friends getting this fucking far, and we're not that much farther. You want to crack this can, you're going to have a fight on your hands.
And
unless you got a damn good reason for it.
If we wait to crack this can until we return to base, there could be a lot more casualties if something has already gone wrong. We were sent here to do our jobs. Are you not going to let us?
I'm just trying to do my job too.
Not like you could really stop us, let's be honest here. I mean, you got one leg fused to the other. I don't think you're taking on three of us.
That depends. You want there to be three of you still left standing?
I'd like there to be four of us. We can put it back together if we need to. We're not here to break anything. Just here to make sure that what's in there is what our people at base intend to receive.
Do you even know what's in there? Do y'all even know what you're trying to open here? The
Do
risk
you?
that you... Yes, I do.
Enlighten
Because I put
us.
them in there. We could do this a couple of different ways. This could be a command roll, if you would like to try to see if you could pull rank over this individual. This could be manipulate, if you wanted to. Basically, he's looking for a reason to try to trust you all here. You all were able to save him, but you all are asking him to go against his mission parameters here.
I think I would like to pull rank. I think I would, at the very least, maybe I don't outrank him, but I think our mission may outrank his. Like, our commanding officer may outrank his, is sort of where we're at. Like, we're all grunts here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But our head grunt may be bigger than his.
I will say that when he talks to you, you do get a little pop-up on your HUD that does register the pilot name as Duke, and he is piloting the USM Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. I'm not going to feel bad about this at all. That's a command roll. Let's see, how many dice can I count? Maybe. Okay. That's going to be 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So you would register this is a mass-produced mech. This is like standard military issue. A few bells and whistles attached to it. You can see that there's like some missile launchers on the shoulders, which seem to have been activated. Like the cover has been lowered. There's no targeting systems. There's no like incoming alerts coming from Wombat or proximity alarms. But like he's getting ready for a fight. But with 3 successes, what would you like to sell this gentleman on?
Essentially, like, I'm trying to bully a little bit, but I'm also trying to like placate. Like, listen, like, you listening to us isn't going to get you in trouble because our commands come from a higher place. You're doing your job by listening to us, like, trying to do the whole like pull rank in a way that, like, I don't want to say is comforting, but is like, this isn't on you anymore, sweetheart. Like, this isn't, don't worry about it. This is above your pay grade. It's fine.
Yes, so he got
there was
1
nothing
success.
You could have done.
so yes, if you would like, you got 3 in total. So yes, he's at least going to listen to you. If there is something else you would like to push with this as well.
Is it out of pocket to ask for essentially for him to keep the rest of his goons off of us? Like, does he have enough rank to convince the rest of these guys to let us do what we need to do?
I'm going to say that if you have a guy in a mech and other guys who aren't, there's one guy who has more rank than the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, I don't want him to tell the others what's going on.
Okay. So yes, you may mark what you were doing as confidential.
Excellent. Yes.
Wonderful.
That
Okay.
would be delightful. Because we don't know. I don't know if there's a trap here. I don't know who we can trust. This is the skeptic brain kind of going haywire.
With that then, you watch as he tries his best to come to attention with, like, one leg inoperable, and kind of wobbles a little bit before trying to stabilize on the stiffened leg. The weapons go inert once again, and I'm sorry. Apologies. You absolutely do have the right of way here. I had not received updated mission reports.
You had bigger fish to fry at the time. It's understandable. We're just here to do our job. All we ask is that you let us.
I will not interfere.
There's, like, I don't know, whatever the appropriate salute is.
Yeah, they're still U.S. military. As much as I've been playing Helldivers 2 lately, and I want to,
There's some sort, I don't know, like, what rank we are to each other, but there's something. There's an acknowledgement of, like, I don't have the authority to say at ease, essentially, but, like, that's the vibes. It's like, as long as you don't start shit, we're fine.
Yeah.
Don't start shit.
He does send over a file through Wombat. Basically a mission report of what they are traveling with. So, and I don't know if you want to do anything with that file, if you trust the file, but it has been passed through Wombat, so Wombat can disperse information. If you would like to search through stuff, we could do observation or science.
Yeah. Since we are somewhat suspicious of this, I would like to create, like, a sandbox around it.
Yep.
And then open it that way to keep it isolated, just in case.
Okay. Sandbox created. Are you then going through the information?
Yes.
Okay. As you open it, seems to be pretty official documents, although antiquated somewhat. Like, these are the documents that would come out of, like, the former Pentagon before it became a nonagon. Like, it's it actually seems to come from the desk of the President of the United States, and it seems to be a report of the final evacuation of the former capital of Washington, D.C. And as you were going through, like, all of the planning and all of the, they're going to send this many mechs, you do note they started with 5 mechs. They seem to have 1 left here, the USN Ronald Reagan. So what happened to the other ones, you're not exactly sure, but you can see that they are transporting the president as well as the remaining members of his cabinet, which, I mean, you're an AI. You deal in what is left of the internet and rumors. The president's supposed to be dead, or at least hasn't been somebody that's been active, or somebody of any note, because you're the president of nothing. If you can't govern, if the world has been destroyed, and yet it seems that within that casket, as the report reads, is the president and 5 members of his cabinet.
I will essentially screenshot these documents. I don't want to send the actual documents out to everybody's mech. I will, like, screenshot these to create images of them and then send those out to everyone, and then pop over comms to the Reagan again. I see here that you've had casualties along the way. Would you mind sending me the battle telemetry so I can see what has happened?
Yeah, sure. And you do receive battle telemetry. You can see that there was the USM Constitution, USM Truman, USM Senate, and the USM Lincoln all went down.
Can I tell what happened to them?
To an AI, normal stuff. To any person, good God, like just bodies ripped asunder. Some of them were melted. The Lincoln actually got taken out by a Leviathan, which has been in the Delaware Bay. Yeah, there's some pretty heavy stuff going on. Most of them, three-fifths of them, were taken out by a single Seraph, however.
But
And
nothing
then,
seems out of ordinary.
I mean, for DC, that's just like, what happens in District of Columbia. Haunts your nightmares
Okay.
forever. But yeah, out of the ordinary for us here in 2024 in our lives, yeah, absolutely, it's nightmare fuel. But for you all, standard operations.
Thank you. I am sorry for your losses.
Yeah, just more for the meat grinder. Are you blue? I'm just trying to make sure my contrast is set right.
Yes, I am blue. Is that an issue?
I don't think so. Smurfs are great, I think.
Okay.
So, and you just get like a whisper to the other two pilots. Is the Wami Mommy a Smurf? I never got that.
I wasn't getting Smurf vibes.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a different hat involved in that. That was before my time.
While we do understand the gravity of the situation and of the cargo that you are carrying, unfortunately, your casket is leaking.
What is it leaking?
A signal of some sorts that I am currently working on unencrypting, but it may take some time. The quickest solution would be for us to open the casket and check.
And we can reseal it if everything is up to snuff.
Unfortunately, we cannot bring you into base with a leaky casket.
Leaky casket, can't do it.
Like I said, I'm not going to stand in your way. And this shit's on you then.
Understood.
Wombat, can you get us into the casket?
Is this an electronic thing that needs to be unlocked like the casket, or is it like a physical thing?
It could be a little bit of both. You could absolutely. So there's basically a keypad on the outside and on the inside. There's two different keys that need typed in, but you could absolutely override if you had a connection. If you had a signal, you could override the external one. It would need the internal one is one that you would not have access to.
So how would they know to activate the external one? Like, if we were to complete the mission, how would they know?
Yeah,
time?
I mean, it's not totally soundproof. You all would probably be able to type it. It's also, you would know that when you type in a code, it alerts the inside that a code has been inputted. If they get the correct code, it's a signal to them that they can also type in the correct code.
Okay. Can I do AI things and figure out what this code is? Unless our new friend will give it to us.
It is in the mission report, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah,
you would have it's pixelated wombat face pops up on the screen of the pad, and the numbers just kind of light up as they're entered.
Perfect.
One moment, please.
Yeah, 1134, and the you see the little keypad kind of beep screen. Are any of you're just staying in your mix for this?
I think Garrick is going to move around to the back of the casket or wherever
Sure.
like the hatch would be, and he'll actually disembark.
Okay.
To potentially meet people on the ground.
Okay. So yes, Garrick down on the ground. Just Garrick.
Oh yeah, Simone's staying in the back.
Yeah.
Once the seal of the casket is broken, I would like to, I don't want to say infiltrate, but infiltrate all of the screens that are inside of the casket.
Okay. You, Garrick, down on the ground, hear almost like the release of that hermetic seal, like that hissing noise, as the hydraulics begin to lower this door, this platform downwards. And this is where I'm going to talk about smell, because the smell hits you like a brick wall of just gore and viscera and death. You look inside as there is one human man still alive in one piece, crouched towards the back, covered in blood. The entirety of this semi-truck sized craft is just covered in blood. And if you want to give me an observation roll, please.
Sure. Observation.
Can I assist in this? Are there any screens for me to pop up?
There are screens. The tough thing is that the screens are all covered in blood, including like the cameras. But you may absolutely assist because you are getting like different points of view that are just like, it's like looking through, blood-clotted glasses.
You see Wombat on the screen, like trying to move around and look through the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Is it illuminated inside the casket?
There are flickering lights, but yes, there is light. You can see within.
Okay, so I got in total 1 success.
Okay. With that success, you can see that all over the walls is written a single word. It's a single word in Latin. It is just the word vox, over and over and over, written in blood. In some places, it is scratched in with what seem to be fingernails almost into the metal. And you look around and see some of the disembodied hands, which are just devoid of any fingernails on them, almost the fingers being rubbed down to the bone tips. There, again, are piles of viscera, piles of bodies that you identify probably as the cabinet members. And as this unclothed human man stands up and looks towards you all, you would recognize, probably maybe from your childhood, the face of the former president of the United States, who seems to be here alive. But there is a complete darkness to his eyes, like supernatural demon kind of, the eyes are totally black, and just a smile kind of goes across his face. I guess we're going to do 2 different types of combat here. So if you all want to roll for initiative, the soldiers and the former president of the United States are going to go after Garrick, and the USM Ronald Reagan is going to target its weapons at Cassidy. So, Simone, obviously not in the direct line of fire here. Let's go ahead and go ahead and roll for initiative.
Oh man, I can't use my main weapon because it will definitely just cook my friend.
I have a 7 for initiative.
It's a 9 for me, dog.
All right.
Thanks.
Cassidy? Nick, what was your roll?
5.
Okay. And Anna?
6.
6, all right. All right, so...
Digging this battle theme.
Hey, thanks. Hey, speaking of... what do I want to say? Epidemic Sound. This is Quantum... No, I'm sorry. This is Rise of the Titan. Quantum Sonata is another great one, though.
It's not threatening at all.
Maybe a little bit. The songs don't mean anything. It's just the shirts I wear. Simone, you are up first. What would you like to do?
Oh man. Okay. Well, shoot. Simone was really not hoping to get into combat again so soon, but here we are. Am I gonna kill the president? I don't. It feels, for legal purposes, this is a joke in a game, but like,
For legal purposes, if you were going to kill the president, how would you kill the president?
It's
hypothetical. It's not illegal.
In game.
In this game.
The in-game president that doesn't exist yet.
In this make-believe, if you were going to... You, Kit. If you were going...
No.
Sorry.
I'm just
sorry.
Not
Kit.
me, Kit.
No, I'm sorry. In
Explicitly
this game, if you,
not
Kit,
me.
had a character...
Oh man, okay. I feel like that's the quickest way to end this though, unfortunately, and I've only got a couple rounds left, besties.
Other problem right now is that the president is still inside the back of this semi-truck.
I'm a great
lead-lined,
shot.
Defensible. Okay.
The door's open though. You said the door's open, right?
The door is open. Yes. I guess you have been moving. You do. You're right. You're absolutely right. You have been moving. You would have line of sight. Yes, you would be able to absolutely decimate this guy.
Has the president attacked anyone yet?
It looks like
Or, like, moving
he's
to?
kind of he has killed all of his cabinet members.
Well, yeah, we don't know how that happened. Plausible
We can't
deniability.
assume.
We can't assume
Politics
ill
these
intent.
days. Yeah.
Listen, things happen inside of caskets that we can't account for. Is because it's clear that the rest of these fools are moving to attack my comrades, but if the president hasn't made any moves,
The president has turned intimidatingly towards Garrick.
I guess I'm gonna try to take out the president. Okay, this is fine.
Hypothetically.
This day's already so goddamn weird.
Kit, what's your address, just in case, like the.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm just a normal guy doing normal things, not
For
killing the
official
president.
government purposes. Yeah.
I'm not from here. Don't worry about it. Fuck. I will have to ask though. Because I don't know if this is in line with what my angel has asked of me. I am going off of my interpretation of what that means. But if I am doing what it wants, I get bonus dice to actions to pursue what it wants.
I would give you bonus
Is
dice,
assassinating the president in line with what my angel asks of me, Derek?
Wow. I feel like there's been a number of people who've asked themselves that throughout history. Weirdly, the answer for you is also yes.
When I woke up today, this is not what I expected was going to happen. I'm going to be completely honest.
For legal purposes, this is a joke in a game. Okay, alright. No whammies.
Let me do that disclaimer up. I don't think that...
Can't believe you're killing President Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
No! Not Dwayne!
Oh no.
The real one. Unfortunately,
really
that is a
corrupted him. It
success,
really
so
went
I
down.
may be assassinating.
He's the people's president.
It would make sense how he was able to kill all the cabinet members.
It does make-
Exactly,
yeah, hey,
yes.
Derek, is the president shredded? Is the president ripped as shit?
Yeah, but in the horrific sort of way. Like,
Okay.
he's shred. Yeah, no, it's.
I know he's like shredded, but he's not like beefy.
Got that Mitch McConnell stare going on right now.
Can this president get it?
It's just Mitch McConnell as the pale man from Pan's Labyrinth.
You can just say no, Derek. You can just say no.
No, it's yes.
No is a
and.
full sentence, I
and.
promise.
I don't believe women should have rights.
That's one success to shoot the president.
All right, you.
In game.
But in game. In fiction.
In game. One single shot. Hey, that's all you need, according to, again, a weird number of people. Yeah, so threading the needle between the legs of not only like a mech, but like, Garrick, your like hair blows back as a ballistic shell, like coming from like, again, like a naval vessel during World War II would fire these, whizzes past and just absolutely like the back of this caravan just flips upwards with the impact and topples the soldiers that were standing on top of it. It actually goes to jackknife over the top of itself with this impact. You don't see necessarily what happens, but it is a liquefying and atomizing process that is done to this formerly human body. So I will leave it at that. Okay. Anything else you would like to do for your turn, Simone?
I would like to move so that it's not immediately obvious that it was me that just shot the president. If that's all the same to everybody.
Again, that seems to be the common thing that people would do. Yeah. Might I
I'd like to
recommend
change my name legally, Derek, is what I would like to do.
If you would like to go to a theater or a warehouse or, book depository. Anyway.
Guam, perhaps?
Guam's nice this time of year. Yep.
That's what they tell me.
Only a territory. Garrick, having this caravan basically just almost blown asunder. I mean, you're like putting explosives into the bottom of a can and just like watching the bottom blow out. This thing has jackknifed over itself. The soldiers have gone reeling. You absolutely presumably there's at least one pilot who is still capable of coming after you. You may absolutely still go after him if you would like to move on foot. Otherwise, you may enter your mech.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get in my mech.
Okay.
I'm gonna get in my mech.
All right. So we can call that. See, I guess that would be the main portion, because it's gonna take a second. We described it kind of like lifts you up, puts you inside. Anything you'd like to do with the remainder of your turn?
I'd like to tell Wombats. Send a report to command. Caravan was compromised.
Did I include the video recording?
Yes.
Understood.
I think I'm going to level the slag shotgun at the cockpit, but I'm not going to fire just yet.
Okay.
We'll see what these guys do.
Okay. With that, then, Wombat, it is your turn.
Yes. I had a plan. I guess I'll stick with the plan. I would like to find this signal if I can, now that we have access to the inside of the cockpit. Figure out what it is and shut it off. My intention had been to see if we could get the president back to normal. It no longer seems to be an issue. But I would still like to identify the signal, document it, and shut it off if possible.
Great. We can call this just a science roll, unless you have anything specific you would like to attach to this.
So I have... It would be for part of it. Yeah, Signal Jammer.
Wonderful. Okay.
It gives me a +3 to science rolls.
Go for it.
This sort of thing. Which will give me 11 dice. I bought miniature D6s last night, and it is so wonderful because I can hold all of them in one.
That's very satisfying. That's very nice.
Oh wow. That is literally all 5s and 6s. That is 8 successes.
And I hope you don't have any more games today. You're using all your luck in this, and I appreciate it. Absolutely. You target this signal. This signal is not coming from a radio frequency. It's not coming from any normal bandwidth, but you are a trained AI. You are seasoned in identifying horrors and seraphs. This is almost on a frequency like an eldritch frequency. This is almost on an arcane frequency, something that the mechs themselves kind of operate on. And it seems to be a beacon that is calling back out east. You may absolutely jam that signal. It is not a technical sort of thing. There is more of like an arcane aspect to you and how you've been programmed, to where almost like within your programming, it's not ones and zeros. It turns into like sigils and scripts and magic circles that you have to block this pattern from. Yeah, absolutely. If you would like to add anything to how you do that, that was fantastic success. If you would like to add anything to that, you absolutely may.
To make a report of it, a report that will not like repeat the signal, just kind of a report about it, and send it with the camera footage back to base. I think on the screen you see kind of an idle animation of Wombat with a hard hat on and a hammer, kind of moving around the screen, working on this signal.
With that many successes, I'm also going to give you that, like, passively in the background, your programming is able to decode the rest of the file that was sent to you. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like there was an illusion that was put over it. Almost like where something would be redacted. You are able to, like, sieve through the file and realize that the file no longer says President of the United States. It says Dark King of the world. And you can see that it is marked in Enochian, and that it starts referencing the voice, the Vox, the voice of God. And you would be able to piece that enough together to know that it is in fact talking about Metatron, one of the seraphs that has been identified. And so these seem, you also know that Metatron has a big level of activity in DC. So it seems as if these individuals might have been part of a cult of Metatron, considering themselves to be the new rulers, and may have been corrupted or may have actively engaged in this sort of activity.
An alert goes up on everyone's screen, and I
Right.
think everything kind of changes to combat mode. I have new information. It seems that these are all a cult of Metatron and should be considered enemy combatants.
Yeah. With that, it is the USM Ronald Reagan's turn, and they are going to take their attacks here. So let's see. You can see that they have.
Reaganomics of the cult confirmed.
You know, there's a reason I named it the Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan did engage in a level of occultism in his presidency. I thought it was fun. Okay. I'm going to say that you would watch as the USM Ronald Reagan draws an ego sight and is going to take a hit, an attack at Cassidy. So, roll my dice here.
Cassidy, you have incoming.
So, almost like
Bring it on.
From its side, it detaches, like from its inactive leg, this pole arm that then ignites with this purple glowing energy sight, and takes a strike out at you. It is it's not great. It's a little ham-fisted, and does miss entirely, perhaps because of the stilted leg that it's still working with. But it completely whiffs on that one, despite the great amount of dice that I got to roll. So you do hear over the frequency, y'all are gonna die. Y'all are gonna die for that. That was the king, and there's gonna be more. The voice is coming, y'all. With that, it is Nick. It is Cassie's turn.
Okay, so Garrick is back in his mech.
Correct.
Okay. Really quick out of game. How much health does your automata have? Because we're in the same zone, and I have friendly fire, and I don't want to keep having to hit you with this if you can't.
So my durability is 10. I did take some damage during the last fight, but I should be able to take more with the ego field.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and the stake driver, the huge arm, is gonna start superheating again. And this automata that we're fighting, it's not like helpless or anything, right?
It is not helpless. It definitely has taken damage. This thing is not at full ego field or at full health. This thing was getting clawed at. It has parts of it that are melted off. This thing was mass produced to begin with. But absolutely, this thing has less movement, but it's not helpless. It still has full weapons control.
Wombo, do I have full permission to blast this asshole out of existence?
Permission confirmed.
And just getting on top of it, like climbing on with pure strength, and just gonna aim right for the cockpit.
Reminder, your password expires in 3 days.
It's okay. Set it to password 2.
Understood.
And yeah, I'm gonna pummel this thing.
Go for it.
That's one success. I'm gonna push again.
Okay.
I love me some stress. Oh shit, I have to roll my stress die. Wait, this could actually be bad. Let me roll my stress die first. Okay, cool. Nothing bad yet. Alright, that's an extra success. One more. Alright, no ones. That's all I need to matter. Okay, cool. So that'll be area, so that'll cook everyone in the same zone as me. And then I'll spend the extra success. Well, I kind of want to spend it and just do more damage. I think it'd be really cool and more thematic. I'm just looking really quick. Yeah, I'm gonna use it to grapple him. So he's gonna take 7 damage, and I'm just gonna, like, as the fist and the spake driver come in, I'm gonna grab whatever piece of machinery I caved in to hit and just hold him there.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so what is your damage for the overall attack?
It's heavy, so it'll be 7.
7. Okay.
And that's gonna wash over and maybe hit the soldiers too, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the soldiers at that point just gone, just wiped away. Like, again, just this is like a fire thing, right? You're
yeah, it's
considering, yeah, just like
like a mini nuke. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Just absolutely just wiped away in this thing. They're gone. The cockpit still with the door open, just gets caught in the blast. The casket transport is almost like blown clean of the area. This mech is looking incredibly rough.
More beautiful, like, nature wilderness gone, sadly. Just
Yes, another patch of Monongahela, never to return to this area. Great. Simone, it is your turn.
Okay. All right. Point of order.
Yes.
Has anything, aside from the things that they've, have I killed anything?
The president.
Okay.
In game.
I'm
In-game.
in game. Because
You can call him the king now.
we can call him the king. Oh, is that better? Is that really better?
in America, it's acceptable. Yes.
Okay.
If we were streaming somewhere else, maybe not.
We
years
have
ago,
killed
it
the
would've
Dark
meant
King,
nothing.
parentheses, of the world. Because if that's the case, then I may or may not have some temp HP to divvy up between these guys who just got nuked, I guess. So I can roll for that, and see if I get any to give them, because I really don't want these fools to die. And I think that's the best use of my time, because I've got very limited ammunitions remaining. Oof, that is but 1. So who needs a hit point?
I think Garrick would mind too much.
Okay, take a zesty little hit point from my mech to yours. I imagine just like some weirdly glowing runes starting on the mech that don't make sense. Don't worry about it, it's fine. But you feel a little bit better, so we love to see it. I guess the only thing left to shoot is this guy, this mech.
I hate twist your arm. What a situation.
I hate to steal a kill, but you know, if it needs done, it needs done.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It's so true. I'm so
Like,
glad
lift
to
them
say
up.
that. Yeah, yeah, get him. Lift him up like a fish on a Tinder profile. Like, just. What is my ranged combat? Not great, but you know, we'll take it. That is 1 success, and if I've learned anything from killing the president, that's good enough.
I hate that's what we've learned today. What's your damage on that, Kit?
5.
5. You only needed 1 Well,
I got
technically you had
that.
to get through the ego field, so technically you needed 3. But yeah, no, you got it. 1 hit point left on the USM Ronald Reagan. Simone, Kit, how do you finish this thing off? What are you targeting? How does this thing... Are you targeting pilot as well?
I feel like at this point we kind of have we should have somebody to interrogate. And
Okay.
everybody else has been melted. So
That'll happen.
that'll do it, unfortunately. So I think aiming for like if the dude is in the torso of the mech, I'm aiming for the mech head, like, you know,
Gotcha.
get
Okay.
something important that'll get the mech and hopefully leave the dude at least
Sort of like
talking
the
for a
energy
couple
core,
minutes.
but
Yeah.
the door alive. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy alive. Okay. Great. You absolutely do so. Cassidy holding up the mech for target practice. Yeah, you knock that apple off the head, and the mech goes limp. All of its targeting systems, all of its systems shut down. There is no way for you to get any frequency or anything from this mech anymore, as far as you are aware. The pilot is still alive within. What would you all like to do?
Recomms, we get him?
I believe so. That was a successful hit. I worry that the signal may have sent out an SOS before I managed to end it. We should watch for a Seraph as we quickly make our way back.
Yeah. Probably for the best. Is everybody okay?
No damage incurred.
What are we doing with this guy? As I hold like the automata corpse up.
We have to have something to bring back.
Would be useful.
All right. Well, we don't need the legs then.
We could use the legs for spare parts.
Well, I don't want to be lugging this. It's easier to lug half an automata around than a full one. Grab the legs, and I'll.
Just slice it.
Yeah, he'll just pull it off because it's still impaled on the stake driver, I imagine.
Okay.
Although we have successfully completed combat, I am keeping us in combat mode.
Probably a good idea.
To that point, if you all haven't been marking, that is 3 XP that you all have earned at least so far. Garrick, I'm gonna give you an extra 2 as well, because you have been really playing very well into your pilot's issues. Cassidy, an extra 2 for your gun-ho-ness. Wombat, I'm gonna say 4. You've been absolutely killing it as AI. Simone, talking to your inner voice, as unsettling as that has been, extra 3 for you as well. Wonderful job all around. So the plan now is to go back to home base.
Probably.
All right. All right.
Don't know
and
that we
are doing
necessarily need to bring the whole casket, as is what remains of that.
I thought we were going to torch it.
We can. You want to have a bonfire real quick?
I mean, I hit the zone already. It might be torched.
It is. You blew it clean of the area. Yeah, absolutely. It feels like bringing that back is just like a kid walking to their parents' room, like I threw up, and just like tossing down a semi truck full of guts. Yeah.
I made it a whoa.
Yeah, I meant no. So you absolutely may torch the inside of this thing. It is partially charred anyway. What is left of the governing body of what used to be the country you all are in, just absolutely just scorched from existence. No real evidence left of any of it. The soldiers also all incinerated. Yeah, I'm gonna say that Wombat. You also note that on that document, in addition to all of like the redacted things that you couldn't originally see before the scan, there's a new like sigil that they're using instead of like the eagle with the arrows and the sheaf of wheat. It's all very eldritch now and seems to have more of like a seraph vibe to it, where there is this definitely became a cult to Metatron, which at least is the name that's commonly used by your organization for that angel out there. You continue on towards base. It is becoming night at this point. Anything you all would like to do as you travel along? We can do observation rolls, survival rolls, or anything else if you are looking to keep an eye out or scavenge or anything.
So, we just took out the president of our country, which we thought was dead. I think we might have low-key committed treason.
If he was already dead, does it really count?
I mean, I don't know if they'll see it that way. I mean, they should, but I just think we should be prepared just in case things go sideways when we get back.
As I'm keeping an eye out for, of course, scanning for an incoming Seraph, just in case, can I check chatter from the base to see whether or not they are preparing to engage us when we arrive? Or are there any reports going around?
For sure, yeah. Because you sent reports out in the middle of battle, didn't really hear a lot back, which is sometimes common. When you send the reports out, it's not always an immediate response. Sometimes there's a delay, depending on where you are. Yeah, go ahead and give me observation or science.
I'll do observation.
Sure.
And I have my scanner as well for an extra +2. That is a single success. It seems that my luck has run through.
Okay. With your single success, you are able to pick up on some transmissions coming back from base, from Mammoth Cave. They seem to be pretty neutral to what you all have done. It seems like the mission went a little sideways. Return to base safely. Avoid combat if at all possible. Return intact. Return with any and all intel you can provide. And it's not verbal, it's all just typed out.
From what I can see, they do not seem ready to engage. The president has been considered long dead, so I do not think that this changes much.
That's promising for my continued existence as a member of this corps.
Then inform them that we are returning with one captive and an additional automaton.
Understood.
Well, I guess we'll face whatever it is then.
One way or another. Yeah. I should probably get this thing working before we do. Simone will go to fuck around with that gun that I broke last time.
Okay. Just kind of doing that in your pilot seat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to get it in some semblance of working order, if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Science? Unless you have anything else that you use for that?
Sorry, what was that? It cut out.
Science roll, unless you have anything else that you would want to use for that.
Yeah, I'll take science.
Maybe machinery. Well, yeah, science is probably better.
Yeah, because this is technically a person-sized thing. So I don't know what kind of. Well, yeah. That's 2.
2 successes?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I would say that you were able to duct tape and hope the pieces back together. It is in mostly working order. I say that with a massive asterisk attached to it.
Okay.
It's also, as you were piecing that together and kind of just idly, I can't imagine that Simone is particularly straight, as with most of this cast, so I can't imagine that they sit in their chair normal. So as they are slumped over their cockpit or sitting crisscross applesauce or whatever have you, piecing their gun back together, you do note that like your screen flashes very quickly, just with it's a script that every now and then pops up right before a message, and it's symbols you haven't really been able to decipher just yet, but you have noted that they are the same symbols every time you get just a message like this.
Interesting.
And what pops up is an image from an archaic form of media that I'm not sure that Simone would have ever experienced, might have heard of the angry yellow people. But there's one of the small angry yellow people who's sitting what looks like in a chair, small, rotund, and it just says, "I'm in danger," as the character seems to be smiling, oddly enough.
Is it? Okay. I hate that I, Kit, have to ask this question because I am not literate in media.
Yeah.
Is this the Simpsons bit, or is this a minion that you've put on my screen?
Yeah. No, this is a Simpsons. I would not. Kit, come on, we are friends. I would not put a minion on your screen.
I have to check sometimes, Derek. Okay.
I understand. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. No. This is the Ralphie meme of haha, I'm in danger.
Ah,
So
yes. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. I've been educated. Thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. And
I thought we said we weren't giving this thing gifts. Fuck.
It's not moving, to be fair. It's a solid image. It hasn't figured it out
Yet,
entirely.
but when it does,
it's just figured out mid-2000s meme culture.
Okay, we've got a non-zero amount of time until the gifts. Okay. I don't know what to do with it. Have I figured out how to talk back to this thing aside from just speaking my thoughts into the void?
That's been the most efficient thing, is sometimes if you just say something out loud, it does respond. Sometimes when you do, it doesn't respond at all. It just ignores you or gives you a response that doesn't make sense. It's like talking to an echo device.
Sometimes it gets it.
Sometimes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think this is not an uncommon occurrence, especially for Wombat, who is able to just sort of peek into screens and mechs and all of that at will. For Simone to be working on something and muttering to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they sort of glance up, they see this, roll their eyes a little bit. It's like, okay, you could give me a little bit more than that. I thought this is what you wanted. I thought I was doing what you asked. What more do we need to keep this safe?
I'll send you a GIF. Not a GIF, I'll send you an emoji.
Okay, this is fine. I think it's just like a continuous string of okay, what can I what do you want from me? What can I do for you? What I could
So I have sent the them presenting person running GIF. Not GIF,
okay.
Again, emoji.
Okay, all right.
The GIF's out of my head.
Okay, all right. Okay. We can if we don't stop, we're gonna be in trouble. How much time do we have time?
I don't think you can respond to that.
Shit. Wombat.
Yes. Do you require assistance?
Wombat, how much? That's a loaded question at this point. I know we sort of are of the opinion of stopping for the night. How much longer do you think we could keep going if we had to keep these things on the move? Do we know how far back? How can we make this trip in a day? Continuous?
Do I know how far we are from base?
Moving with your mechs is much more efficient than moving underground on human foot. It is nighttime now. You should make it back to base before noon the next day if you continue through the night. And Wombat doesn't need sleep. Wombat could autopilot your mechs if you all did need sleep. If you all are not comfortable with that, that's something we could push with stress.
We could arrive back at base by lunchtime tomorrow if we continue moving. I could pilot your mechs if you all need sleep. But that would reduce combat readiness.
Yeah, no, it would. I think being sitting ducks here would also reduce combat readiness.
That is true.
hmm,
Do you have reason to be nervous? Your heart rate is spiking.
Thank you, Wombat. Yeah, no, I'm just getting, I don't know. I have a feeling. I have a bad feeling about making camp. Don't know that I have much more for you than that.
Would you like to inform the others?
They're gonna be pissed, but yeah, probably for the best. Yeah, I think just like smacks open the open comms. Oh, I'm not a good liar, but this is fine. Hey, y'all, getting some weird readings. How do we feel about making this a little night walkabout?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You fine dragging that thing along?
Might need to trade shifts, but he says, kind of like laughing. As long as
Yeah,
we
I
got
can-
the fuel, we're okay.
Yeah, I can take it for a bit if we need to, but I don't know. I've got something might be coming. I don't know that it's a good idea to make camp tonight.
If anyone requires sleep, I can pilot your mech for you. At least the basic functions of it.
I agree. We push onward.
I got the mini fridge in here I installed. Got a couple Red Bulls if anyone need anything. It's vintage. They're like 20 years old, so I don't know. They're still good, but...
They fermented at this point. It's become like a caffeinated wine. It's...
A little caution tag, food danger caution tag pops up in the corner of your monitor.
Red Bull Vintage has become like a currency in some black markets, and yeah. Oh, is that 2004? Oh god, that's when they were still using chlorine. Okay, continuing on through the night, and into the dawn. You are pushing yourselves. You are pushing your mechs. Go ahead and take. If you were letting Wombat autopilot for you, that's one thing. I still think this is going to be a stress for everyone, because and a stress for mechs as well, because we are still pushing on.
I think this makes sense for me to stay up and take stress, so if you need me to take extra, that's okay.
I'm a little stressed out, but it's fine.
It's the normal amount, right?
Yeah.
You push through without any major issue, however, to where you would know to look out for the first watch post. And you get you Wombat, you register the sensors, hit the mechs, they identify, you get a little message, welcome home, see one of the soldiers give a wide wave to all of you, and you all continue on into base, further into where Mammoth Cave opens up to, dragging all along the USM Ronald Reagan. You return to base without any major issue. What's the first thing you all do once you get back? We can say your mechs are taken into the hangar immediately. They begin to be serviced. The damages begin to get repaired by the staff on site there. You all are helped down, and you are. I will say that there is a staff member, there is a service member, who informs you that your mission report is not immediately required. That you all have been out in the field, get some rest, do what you need to do. But at what is it? It's we'll say like 1000 right now, so probably about like 1600 that you're requested to be at up front for your mission report.
I think Garrick is going to gather a security team to get the pilot of the Reagan out of his mech and bring him to into custody.
Absolutely. Okay. Security team is pulled together, and if anyone else is joining Garrick for this, right?
I think
You
Simone's
all would-
probably right behind, but like going for the mech, not for the guy. Like
Gotcha.
Simone wants to study what's going on with the machinery.
I think
the co-
Cassidy
go ahead.
will. Sorry, I think Cassidy
No,
was
you're good.
Garrick.
The cockpit is essentially like forced open. There's a mechanism on most of the mechs that are made where you can actually like, if you need to, you can jaws of life them open. But the cockpit is overridden to open up. The pilot is still inside. He actually comes out with his hands up. It doesn't seem like he has any weapons on him as they pat him down. You would note his uniform is a pilot's uniform that is all black. And for the first time, the rest of you would see the sigil that Wombat also noted, which has seemingly replaced the crest of the United States. And he wears them as like emblems. And you can see that his name badge, whereas traditional pilot's name badge would be, I mean, he's as close to being an official pilot as possible, despite the coloration and everything, all the reds and blacks. But it does say Duke on it. And you can see that there's, in addition to the typical like American regalia, there's almost like chivalric emblems as well. There's symbology of almost like knighthood that are placed as well. But he just scowls at all of you and puts his hands on top of his head and is escorted off to the brig. Anything else y'all would like to do?
Just got bad vibes about all this.
It's not, the vibes aren't great. I'll give you that. I want to pull this mech apart.
Okay.
I want to see what sort of eldritch nonsense has gotten ingrained in it, if any. Because obviously these people were corrupt. Did it get into the mechs, or was it the dude was corrupt and just piloting like normal?
Yeah, that's such a good question.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and do a. This definitely feels like a mechanics roll. There we go. I'm scrolling on the wrong thing. There we go. Machinery. I'm sorry, machinery roll to try to pull this apart. Unless you think something else might work, we could maybe consider this science to study it. But if you were looking to pull it apart, I'm going to call it machinery. You're muted, bud.
Thank you. I think mostly trying to pull apart the internals, like the wires and the coding and stuff. I mean, my mech has some stuff on the actual hardware of it. I don't know that this one would. So if I don't see that, I don't know that that's what I'm going for so much as like going for like the internal mechanics of it.
I'll give you an extra dice because you do work with your ancient mech. You might be familiar with some of the things you see, or some of the types of things that you would see.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Let me see. I have enough dice for this. Okay. Yeah. I just want to see how badly these serifs have fucked with this actual mech. Ooh, I needed every one of those dice. That is one success.
Okay. With the one success, you can see that it almost looks like a totally normal cockpit at first. If any of you are kind of, joining Simone for this, pretty standard. Again, this was a mass-produced mech, as far as any of you are aware. Mechanics seem totally fine until you start looking at like the black, like gunmetal sort of interior, and you start to notice that there's carvings into the metal. And Simone, you might be familiar, these are protection circles that have all been carved in angelic script, in seraph script. And you can see that they are literally everywhere, that there are hieroglyphics and words and protection circles and sigils and all of this magical bullshit, essentially, that has been etched into the inner frame of this thing, that it is almost lined entirely with the concept of the seraph. And whether that was done by the people that built it or afterwards by people by the seraph, you're not exactly sure, but this thing definitely has, like, there is an arcane hum to it. Even as you have blasted through the core of this thing, there is a pulse to the wiring that's not electrical. And there is, yes, something eldritch about this automata. There we go.
God, he said the thing. He said the thing. He said the thing.
Said the word. He said the word.
Ah, that's it. Excellent game, guys. Oh man. Ah man. Okay. Cool. I think like going through all of this, trying to like copy down as much of it as possible in the massive file of arcane bullshit that I keep. Cross-referencing, seeing if I like know specifics about where this come from. I think again they just start muttering to themselves, to their angel, just like, was this you? Is this something you could teach me? Is this something that you don't want me to know? What's going on here?
To those questions, how do you typically receive? Is it in your head? Do you have like a wristband where you'll get messages? Do you have like Google glasses, like Google Lens? Like, where do you get your messages when you're not in your mech?
When I'm not in my mech, probably, I think they keep, especially right now, they're doing like mechanic work. I think they keep a HUD open, whether that's like a visor or glasses, or we're in the future if it's some sort of like tech situation internally. I don't know. But I think they keep some sort of a HUD on them. And I imagine some of their tools have screens. Their gun is a Game Boy. Like there's screens available. So I think anything that has been previously attached to the mech has the potential to show these messages. But I don't think, if they're not in their mech, I don't think it comes directly to their head.
Fair enough. Through your HUD then, with the questions you just asked, very quick succession. Fuck no. Sure. Why not?
Okay. All right. So not you, but you can, but you do know it? You could teach us?
Thumbs up.
Interesting. I'm having revelations about what this thing is then.
You just see, like, nice.
Nice. Okay, all right, okay. You want this thing dead? That made these?
Get a question mark to that. And then the screen flashes again with that script. And you finally see the word that you had seen in Latin, the word that you had identified in Greek. But now in English, in this very like old English script, you see trap just flash across the screen. And all of you would hear the air raid sirens start to blare.
Backing out of this mech.
And Simone, you would just see, told you so, better run. Those of you who might be near the mouth of the cave would be the first to see the coming of this seraph. And it is a sight that few mortals are able to perceive in any significant way to where they could tell other people. Whether you all survive the coming of Metatron is perhaps a story that I will tell another day. But as the onslaught of Empyrean might bears down on your last stand of civilization, here's hoping your mechs have been repaired enough. And that is where we're going to end this game feature of Eldritch Automata. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to this wonderful cast. I love leaving two shots off on cliffhangers. Maybe we'll come back to this story of Eldritch Automata. This is a fantastic game. Highly recommend you all check it out. This game's created by Nick, who's been lovely enough to join us for 2 sessions, including an interview last week. You can find all of that on our VODs as well as on our YouTube. This game is put up by Gehenna Gaming. I will let Nick say more about the future of this game, where you can find more of it. But let's go ahead and go around. And if you have any upcoming projects you would like to talk about, please do so. Please check these people out in any means, fashion, or form you possibly can. They are absolutely fantastic. Please bring them on for your projects. So, Rak, if you don't mind starting us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, viewers of all pronouns, I am Rakolai, or Rakolai, no real preference. See how you pronounce it. I'm just glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in today. If you like mechs, I build them, or at least models of them, on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Rakolai. I normally stream on Sundays. I'm taking this week off just because I just finished a build. You can see pictures of it on my Twitter account, which is @Rakolai, as RAKO, capital I-AI, because the normal spelling got taken by someone else. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm on Tumblr. I am on Ko-Fi, Throne, all those things. And yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rak. And yes, like I said, I said this before, I had to ask Rak to play in this. It had mechs. Please go check out the phenomenal stuff that Rak is able to make. And it also posts it on our Discord every now and then, so you can check that out there too as well. Next up, Kit.
Remember to unmute myself this time. Hello. I'm Kit. You can find me most places on the internet at KitRoll, or on Twitter, while supplies last, at KitRollCause. You can catch me on here sometimes when Derek and Ava allow me to bother them. But other than here, you can catch me every other Saturday-ish over on Lost Caravan with Fatal Ascension, our Fabula Ultima campaign, where I play everyone's favorite automaton. On the run from multiple countries, we may have fought death. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're just normal guys, not committing war crimes. Everything's fine. Every other Wednesday, returning this month, you can catch Beacons of Farlight, a post-apocalyptic-ish campaign over on High Shelf Collective. We're using the beacon system, and we are entering our sort of second arc, looking for answers after the fall of civilization and then some. So lots of apocalyptic nonsense going on there. And then every other Thursday, over on Entropy Emporium, you can catch Project Reach Extraction, where I play Galahad, a homegrown arena fighter who's been roped into a corporate heist against his sponsor. It's a whole thing. But if you like cyberpunk, if you like dot hack, that's the vibe for you. And then, of course, I'll let Anna talk a little bit more about it. But if you like magical girls, check out Bloom and Blight, our queer-led Girl by Moonlight actual play podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. If you don't see it there, let me know. I will put it there. That is a threat, I promise. I think that's all I'm allowed to talk about right now, but keep an eye on the socials. I will be announcing things as I'm allowed to announce them. That's me.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Nick, I will give you the floor to talk about all your projects, including Eldritch Automata, here all at the end. So, Anna, if you don't mind picking up there, more about Bloom and Blight, where we can find more of your lovely self as well.
Absolutely. I will say when the air raid sirens went off, a little dialogue popped up on everyone's screen that was confirm or edit your next of kin. So just make sure as you're running for cover that you are filling that form out or confirming that it is correct. It helps with paperwork after the massacre. But yes, I am Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet. I'm a Aquarian Trans Advocate, Museum worker, and TTRPG performer, producer, and podcaster. Find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun, and all other social media, including Instagram and Blue Sky, at Archival Dust Bunny. As far as where to find me, tomorrow night I will be over on TTRPG Gifts Roll for Palestine charity stream. We are the last game playing Monster Care Squad, DM'd by the wonderful Glyza. It'll be a lot of fun. Come and help us give a strong ending to what has been a really great weekend so far. Monday nights, I'm over on the GR crew with Tears of the Rose, our ongoing Blue Rose campaign. I play an allegedly reformed pirate turned envoy who has some really cool weather magic. We were being chased by wolves, and I summoned a tornado the last session. It's a lot of fun. Thursday night is my normal ongoing Monster Care Squad campaign with Glyza over on their channel Classical Glyza. We are currently in space trying to help a monster there who interesting things are happening with. As Kit mentioned, every other Saturday is Fatal Ascension or Fabula Ultima campaign over on Lost Caravan. I play Cadence the Time Assassin. She is exactly what it says on the label. I mess with time and stab things, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, Bloom and Blight, as Kit said, magical girls, finding hope again in the face of loss. We are about to come off of our mid-season hiatus. If you're not caught up yet, still plenty of time to do that. And of course, our holiday special featuring Lexi Black Girl Mage as a guest director. But when we come back, it will be our push for the season 1 finale. We have some phenomenal episodes coming up. You can find that anywhere you normally get your podcast. For updates, catch us on social media at Bloom and Blight. And of course, for cast and character information, episode transcripts, and a link to our wonderful community Discord that gets sneak peeks on a lot of stuff. So if you aren't in there yet, check that out. You can find all of that on our website, bloomandblight.com. I have a few more really cool projects coming up that I can't talk about just yet, including an upcoming Dareful Archives project that will be a sister podcast to Bloom and Blight. You'll just have to follow us on social media to see the news for that.
Thank you, Anna. That's all amazing stuff. Definitely check out all of that, especially on socials. Check out Bloom and Blight. As a personal consumer of Bloom and Blight, it's a fantastic podcast. Do yourself a favor and give it a listen. And Nick, I want to make sure you have all the time that you need. Where can we find more of you? Where can we see Eldritch Automata in the future? What's coming down the pipeline for you?
Hi, I just want to say, first off, thank you for everyone to having me into playing this game. Really means a lot to me. But I'm Nick Francia. I'm the creative director over at Gehenna Gaming. You can find me at Nobleman Nick. So what Gehenna Gaming does is we are an events and AP focused company, and we work on running games at cons as well as doing other events and curated experiences, mainly in the horror aspect. Our big things are being an inclusive space as well as being a safe space, as we fully push the utilization of safety tools and everything else at our games. But other than that, we are also game designers, as we are just about to release Eldritch Automata. We had a Kickstarter back in January. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fund, but we made such great headway that we are relaunching in about the May-June area. That's going to be actually we're going to be relaunching on BackerKit. Instead of Kickstarter. So very excited to work with the people over there. They're awesome, and I have no doubt that we're going to be able to make our goal this time after adjusting for everything. That being said, stuff that you can see coming up, Eldritch Automata before the Kickstarter launches is that the quick start's going to be coming out soon. We're in the editing is done on it. We are in the layout phase of getting everything, and that is going to be a free PDF that comes out that gives you all the basic rules to start playing the game. Some pre-gens as well as the Dark Passenger scenario, which also means because Dark Passenger was originally supposed to come out with the starter set, that there's going to be a new scenario coming out with the starter set whenever we do release that. So more Eldritch Automata is on the way. If you're going to PAX East, please check out Eldritch Automata, which is going to be running all week on all 4 days, at least a couple tables each day, as well as on that Friday of PAX East will be the Epic of Eldritch Automata. 6 tables, all connected, one giant massive battlefield. It's going to be amazing. So definitely keep looking out for that, and welcome to your Summer of the Mechs coming soon.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you again to this wonderful cast. Thank you especially to Nick for the creation of this game, for sharing it with us. Eldritch Automata is an absolutely amazing game. It's an amazing concept. Highly recommend you check it out. If you do have the privilege of being in person, definitely check out that game. And yeah, definitely support it on BackerKit. This is going to be, it's streamlined in such a beautiful way, while also giving an absolute plethora of options. There's no way you and somebody else are going to make the exact same character, even if you play 100,000 times together. It's such a cool game. The monsters are cool, the horrors are cool, the mechs are cool, and it's just, it plays into that tragic hero concept so well. It's absolutely beautiful. It's action, it's horror, it's everything you want at your table. For me, for Sword and Key, I am Derek Sword. Yes, Sword is my real last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. I use he, him pronouns. I've been your GM for this game and for many games. You can find me primarily here on Sword and Key. Check out all of Sword and Key's stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find all of our socials optimized there, including charity campaigns that we're working for through Tiltify. Like the Palestine Children's Relief Fund is there, any ongoing campaigns as well, like we've had the past for Fauna and Flora International. You can also find our discount codes there, like we have for Greenleaf Geek Dice and also for Eldritch Foundry if you're looking to have miniatures made for your characters. You can find our Twitter, our Instagram, our Blue Sky. Most of those are sword_and_key. But you can also join our Discord there, which is a great place to hang out with lots of cool people, talk about lots of cool stuff like this game, like other games, find similar groups of people with similar values and opinions and interests, and it's a great place to hang out. Stuff coming up on our calendar. This is where I need to make sure I actually have a calendar open. I was sitting under my calendar. There it is. Okay. So later today at 3 p.m. Pacific time, we have the return of Horizon's Call. It is our weekly, 3 to 4 year ongoing D&D campaign, nautical campaign set in an oceanic homebrew world of Damaris. One of the players has just joined a gang, and one of the other players just put her boyfriend in a gladiator match, while the other one took a nap. So that's fun. That'll be at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I guess we are back tomorrow with Monster Crush. A new episode of Monster Crush releases tomorrow. It's a podcast to do with my friend LD. It's part of the Sword and Key Network. We talk about different cryptids, creatures, and miscellaneous monsters. It is bi-weekly, pan-monster romantic. And this episode is actually, because tomorrow is Mario Day, it is March 10th, it is a kind of a Mario episode. We're going to do some monsters that are tangentially related to Mario, including a particular yokai with a massive set of testicles. So that'll be fun. At 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, we have the beginning of Trophy Dark. It is going to be a 3-session game run by the incredible Nick. Also oceanic horror, because that's just a theme around here. But that has a wonderful cast to it. Definitely check that out. We have the beginning of our first video game series on the channel, starting on Tuesday the 12th, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to do Gate Night. I am going to be joined by the wonderful LD, as well as the wonderful Shadow, and we're going to play Baldur's Gate. We've gotten through the prologue. We are just starting out right where we're going to find Shart, and we're gonna see how long it takes us to play through the game. We've made some great characters. I am playing Dwarf, whose last name is Thunderbum, Dwarf Warlock. It's going to be a good time. On the 16th, it is 2 very special members of our channel's birthdays. It is both Mare and Alex, 2 wonderful GMs who have given a lot to this channel. It is their birthday on the 16th, so please help them celebrate that. We also have the return of Horizon's Call, which is going to be every Saturday. Again, Trophy Dark is going to be every Sunday. The 16th is also a Sword and Tea, which if you, again, missed the one with Nick, it's a chat show that we do. But the 16th is going to be with Kristen Randall and their new book, The No Girlfriend Rule. It is a queer TTRPG YA romance. Publisher Pushkin Press is also letting us give away a copy of the book and a 7-piece dice set during the stream in honor of the release. So definitely check that out where you could win that. It's up here. It's a fantastic novel. I haven't got a chance to read it yet myself. On Thursday, the 21st, at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we're doing another Sword and Tea with NL Morrison, who is going to be discussing Printweaver and another upcoming project of theirs. And other than that, Gate Night's going to be weekly. Horizon's Call is weekly as well. Trophy Dark will play for the 3 weeks. And that should get us through the month. I should also say we do movie nights on the Discord as well. Those are bi-weekly. We just last night watched the Mario movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, 2023. Not the 1993 version. I wanted it. It's not streaming anywhere. Physical media is important. But in honor of Mario Day, we did it last night. Coming up on the 22nd, we've been doing a monthly Ghibli movie, so we're doing Spirited Away on the 22nd. And we'll have another one coming up after that on the 5th. So check that out if you want to join the Discord. You're always welcome on movie nights. And that is pretty much it. I think we are going to be raiding Valdria, so go spread some love over there, and we will see you all soon, if not sooner. Take care of yourselves. Be kind, spread joy. Remember that the world's not as messed up as the one we just played in, but it still needs help, and it still needs good people like yourselves. So go and do something good, objectively good for the world today. It could use it. Thank you. Take care of yourselves.